What's up, guys? Welcome to the Brews and Business podcast. Step into the shoes of everyday small business owners as you'll hear stories and experiences to help you grow your business. I am your host, Braden Cruz. I'm streaming live at the Blue Studio. Today we're drinking some iced caramel macchiatos that I made. I think they're pretty good. You guys let me know what you think here in a minute. I want you guys to meet your co-hosts. I've got Abel Rodriguez with ARC Outdoorsman. I know I said your name wrong. Chance Jones with Threaded Industries, and Stone Shoe with Stone Cold Downflow. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Nice. Doing good. Doing good. Then I've got a special guest, too, is with Sooner Marketing Solutions. His name is Bobby Elder. He's the business development director there. And I understand there's a lot on your plate, and you're really trying to work on automating, working with Calendly and Zapier, right?
Trying to work smarter, not harder.
There you go. So that's what today's topic is going to be about. It's going to be about some simple strategies for more efficiency at work. So try to be more timely and stuff like time management and all that. So maybe some automations. Bobby will pitch in on that. So that'll be kind of cool. So let's kind of get started. Abel or Chance, would one of you guys like to kick things off? Kind of get some ideas going about how you are efficient at work?
Definitely plan stuff out. Like get a calendar, make sure you stick to a schedule and understand where your day falls. And it's going to be different for like everybody, but it just kind of breaks down what points you need to hit on daily. Keep good time management skills, and then probably start with set up meetings you need to go to.
Fair enough. Yep.
What do you think, Abel?
Man, I think you're 100% right on that. It's calendar is the big one.
I know I run my life on the calendar.
Right. And I think what kind of hits point for me for the calendar is like, creating a time when that particular task has to actually be done. So that I know you guys all probably have different ways, obviously, of figuring that out. But in my realm of work, I have to get proposals done within what I believe to be a timely manner. Because nobody wants to do work with somebody who got them a quote 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. It just looks terrible.
Right. Yeah.
Unless, of course, it takes that long to get that quote. But one of the things that I do, which, again, I think leads to efficiency, is whenever I'm with a customer and I'm on the job site, I go into my calendar and give myself an actual deadline of when I'll get that job done to them. And I'll tell the customer right there in front of him, like if I'm just with Stone here, I'd tell you, well, today, it's looking good. I'm actually busy in meetings for the rest of the day. It's looking like I'm actually probably pretty busy till Tuesday. So give me till like Wednesday or Thursday. I'll get you that proposal. And that just makes sure that I put in that time to be efficient. Right. That way my whole life doesn't necessarily have to be efficient. Just maybe those particular hours have to be efficient.
And that's a good customer service thing too, because they know like, hey, they have a general idea of when you're going to get back to them. There's no wondering, hey, is he actually going to do the work or whatever?
That's what I try to do after meetings, like kind of before they come to an end.
Like a recap?
I'm like, hey, so these are the things like we want to talk about next time we meet. Let's go and put that on the calendar.
Right.
So then
try to schedule right there so everyone's kind of on the same
And it can be
page.
TBD. So like we don't know where, or if we don't like know 100% when, like let's just put it on the calendar for a suggested time.
Right.
Yeah, and then at least it's on your radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I love about my calendar, and I've tried to get a little bit better about, is not just managing the things that I have upcoming, but making sure that my calendar in retrospect is accurate as well, because that helps me to plan my weeks properly. I can put things on the schedule, and then I'll find that, I go back and look at it, I'm like, okay, I didn't actually spend an hour on that. I didn't go to that meeting. It got moved over here. And so I do also spend time making sure that my hindsight in my calendar is accurate and up to date too. I think it just helps me accurately plan in the future as well.
Stone, what about you? What you got?
I don't use the calendar, honestly. I go all my things are kind of in and out. I'm on a job for 3 hours. I hit my quote. 70% of it's contractor work, so they're telling me when to go. So I just kind of have to wait for their. I'll give the quote, they'll send it to me, but I'll just have to wait until they say go. So I kind of just fly by the edge of my seat.
And
go ahead.
Well, in our industry, that's standard. It's hard to say when I will be done with certain thing. There's literally like, and I feel like I could be wrong here, but assuming you're going to show up and the side of a house is a certain citing or whatever, and then you show up and it's actually different because, you know, within those 4 weeks or whatever, they changed up what they're going to decide to use, and that all of a sudden adds more time that you weren't expecting. Or in my aspect, you go to a new area and you're not expecting the soil to be certain, you know, such difficulty, and then you show up and you're like, well, that just added like
half of that could have been rocks.
Right, exactly. And
you start digging in that dirt and you're like, what the heck? There's a bunch of rocks in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like in our business, it's, I would say not necessarily standard, but it's hard to get an actual day, time, and be super, super on time.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
You buzzing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all buzzing.
I think it's because your mic's touching the table. Nope. That's not it.
It's probably a headphone thing. You're good though. So that's one of the things that we were wanting to talk about was committing to deadlines and scheduling all that. Right?
Right.
Do you do anything like, do you have a planner or like,
I mean, I have.
how do you prevent from getting booked on 10 jobs in one day and not having the crew to
I
do
mean,
that?
My memory, I just run it strictly off of memory. I set my week back to front. So, like, if I'm towards the end of the week, I'm setting it. You know, I'm giving an estimate. I'm like, okay, I can get you next Friday, and then I kind of fill my week up backwards so that like worst comes to worst, if the student needs something done right now, like, okay, you're gonna have to pay a little extra, but I can get you Monday.
Yeah. We have like, we use a software called ClickUp, as you guys will know, because you're in it.
Yeah.
So, but for those who don't know, we use an app called ClickUp to manage like all of our projects and what we're working on and when it's due. And we really can have to adhere to deadlines if like the task priority is urgent or high. If it's normal or low, then most of the time we can move it and adjust it and make it flexible as needed.
So
I know deadlines are important to you too, Abel.
very, very important. But actually, I was going to ask, so Bobby, you've been doing a lot of automation in yours, and I heard Braden say something about Calendly. How do you use that to help automate your calendar? What tasks do you automate in your everyday life?
Yeah, so, you know, the main implementation for the different automations, which the automation kind of integrations that I use are going to be Zapier. And then we integrate that with our CRM software. We integrate that with our QuickBooks. We also integrate that with our different payment and Calendly, as you were mentioning. And so we have several different integrations set up, automation set up. You know, the one that we started with was automatically responding to reviews. You know, it's something that needs to be done. It needs to be done in a timely manner. And, you know, there's great automations that you can establish to where if it's a 3 or 4 star or above review, you know, it automatically sends out this. If it's below a 4-star review, you can set it to automatically send out this with a different text, you know, that addresses it a little bit more personally. So there's some great automations there. When it comes to integrating Calendly, we found a great opportunity to use that whenever we were setting up our booking for the studio. You know, we were running into originally trying to run that off of Google Calendars, and we found that there was such a manual process when it came to actually setting up the booking and setting up the time.
And also making it easy for people to book.
And making it an easy decision, an easy process that was seamless for them to book. And so by doing this, now they can literally hit sign up, they pay it, and it directly takes them to the calendar with available times and lets them book right there.
That sounds terrifying for me.
Oh man,
Letting someone else book what time they get to make it happen, that just sounds awesome,
Well,
frankly, because there's a lot less steps. But
well, the great thing is, though, is that you get to set the times that they're available to book. So we have an operating hours, you know, that we set for that calendar. So they're only able to book from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then they have an option to make a special request. So, you know, we do have some say-so on that. And the great thing is I can set up limitations in that where they can only book 12 hours before, you know, up to 12 hours before a thing. Like anywhere closer, they can't book it, you know, for that same day.
Yeah.
So you can set up different limitations like that. I mean, so the automation's been really useful there. But when you really dig into it, we've even been able to adapt it to our proposals. So, you know, when a proposal is signed, it can set up an automated process to where an email is immediately sent out with a thank you message. And then right after that thank you message, they get any follow-up questions that we may have automatically sent out. And then after they, we have our meeting, it'll automatically recognize that in the calendar and send up a follow-up that says, hey, thanks so much for, meeting with me today. If you have any questions, here. And so it's really great. And there's so many implementations for automation. And I mean, I would say on average, especially with my proposals and stuff, I would say I probably save about 20 hours a week, like just where I'm able to use that towards other things.
That's helpful.
Really?
Yeah, that's extremely helpful.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it's been real nice to have that up to where people can just kind of see what's available and make it flexible and schedule it on their end. And so far, it's saved us a little bit of time. I think with one person, we tested it out. Oh, no, we haven't. No, that was Corey, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So we need a customer to test it out, see how it works, sit on their end. But so far, it works good on our end. I like it. We were talking about routines earlier. Chance and I were.
Yeah.
What's ideal and what's actually happening for me is a little different. I'm glad you're able to stick to yours. Good job.
Yeah,
He has no kids. It's not
yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
It's
Not a
easier to
level
stick to
playing
schedule.
field.
Sometimes I'll show Leslie, I'm watching like gym videos, trying to learn like different routines or methods or whatever, right? And she's like, he's got no kids. He's definitely single because he doesn't have time for a girlfriend or family or anything, It's funny. Yeah. But yeah, so we were talking about routines, and that's one of the things I can help you be more efficient as well. So whenever you when you kind of put your brain into automatic mode, because you know what's happening next, you've done it yesterday and the week before, and you've been doing it for 6 months, you're like, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like day in and day out. You just get used to it,
Yeah.
My routines are I feel like they're very slim. I feel like there's only like a few things in the morning that I usually do, and then throughout the rest of the day, it can just be sporadic. It doesn't seem like there's like a Monday and Friday. Well, there's a couple things where it happens like Mondays and Fridays, but it's not like every day this is what happens, like a robot.
Right.
But we were talking about how I'm working on a goal of getting up about 4:30.
Yeah.
Getting to the gym, getting my boys off to school, and then getting here about 8:30. Usually I make a coffee, look at my emails, check notifications, see what we're doing on projects. I know what I'm working on today by now because I would have planned it the day before.
Right.
And again, this is my ideal. Now I'm actually getting up only at like 6:30, so it's terrible. Bad habits. I got to get out of summer vacation.
That
my
sounds
boys.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, you're like me. You wake up early.
I wake up early.
Yeah. And then the rest of my days are sporadic.
At the absolute latest.
What do you guys got?
Y'all could have
You want to go
that.
over routines?
Y'all have routines?
Yeah, I do.
What do you do?
Okay, we like we talked about earlier. So waking up between 4 and 4:30, usually 4 o'clock. Go through the day. I get up. Got my daily routine, which is morning. Then I have my 8 to 5 routine, and then I have my 5 to 11 routine. So my morning routine every morning: wake up, meditate, read, cold shower, and then package all the orders from the night before. Get everything ready to go. That's usually done by like 5:15 to USPS, and then from USPS. Sorry, let me check out my live.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah, I'm
on
live
something?
streaming.
What do you live?
Instagram.
streaming?
That was just the
Instagram.
easiest thing I could figure out how to do.
We're on Threaded.
No, I think it's on my personal because there's like
Okay.
1,100 followers on personal. I was like, just try to get it out.
All right.
Anyways, back
I don't
to
know.
your routine.
Anyways, okay, so USPS by like 5:15, 5:30.
That was a little subtle shout out.
Yeah, thank you. Jonesy8332, follow. I'm sorry. Jonesy8332, follow my Instagram.
I didn't know if you caught it that or not, Abel.
Whoops. Dude, what did I tell you? I'm not on social media.
Yeah, I'm not either, and I don't even. I need to be better. Okay, so USPS by 5:15, 5:30. Go to the gym. Get done with that by between 7 and 8, depending on what I have to do. Then I got my meetings, whatever I've set up for that day. I plan everything out like basically 3 days. You're talking about planning your week backwards. So like I basically just plan out my next 3 days. And then I plan every day at night. So like I have a routine between like 8 and 11. And that's when I plan my next day, pack my bag, get everything ready for the morning. So
I do that too, and I get my
Everything
boys
flows.
to like, hey, lay your clothes out for tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got, you know, your snack for school in your backpack.
Yeah.
Make sure you got your supplies in there. And then go brush your teeth, go read a book, hop into bed, sort of thing.
Right.
Like, that's our routine. It usually lasts about an hour.
Preparation.
Yeah.
What about you, Stone?
5 a.m. up, gym by 6. Usually home by 7:45, 8. Clean out the trailer, eat, drink my shake, hit the supply house. First job by like 10 or 11.
It's like a typical routine.
Yeah. Every weekday.
Why do you say that? That sounds.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I was
that
just
sounds
wondering.
great.
Yeah,
I
yeah
would say
that's
that-
what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, no.
It's like,
I asked
dang, dude.
because I asked because, you know, in a sense, I remember being in those shoes of every morning. You get home so tired, you're not cleaning
Yeah.
out that truck at the end of the day. You're just like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to eat something, take a shower, and go to sleep. And then the next morning, yeah, I mean, you're up, you clean, you like it's a whole morning shuffle before you even get out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it's nice some days, like when the weather's really nice and you know, like that day it's a smaller job or it's not necessarily that heavy of a job, whatever. It's really nice because you're like, hey, I'm going to enjoy my morning. We'll get the fire going, like, because we used to have a burn pit and then, you know, get the fire going type deal. And it was nice. But then there's those days where you're not going to be on the job site for days and it's miserable.
I used to wake up at like 6, be out my door at 6:20 to clean the truck and be on the job site by like 7:30, 7 or 7:30. And that shit was just so toxic. I would eat once a day and that would be dinner time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to want to just beat the heat. Let's get 3 jobs done today.
Right.
Maximum profit. I want at least $5,000 a day. Like let's screw eating.
Throughout the summer, you're
get
just
it.
like, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, dude, I had to throw the parachute,
Back off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just float, find my balance. Because now that I'm waking up earlier than when I was, but also doing stuff for me before, it's completely game changer.
Yeah.
I
That's
can
why I have
agree.
to have my morning routine,
Yeah.
or I feel like I've wasted the day.
So
Yeah,
what-
my whole day goes out of whack.
Well, it also helps when something traumatic happens, or you take a fall or a couple steps backwards, you still can fall back on your routine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think one other element of that too that I'm interested to know how you guys tackle is, you know, obviously we have these routines in place, but it's so easy with all the, you know, things that come at you on a daily basis to get off routine. So what?
I can't help it.
Hey man, tell us
What happened?
so cut the mic.
Yeah, I can't, because then there goes Bobby, too. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
I didn't even realize. My bad.
We were here like, oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
Bobby.
Is what do you guys do to help get yourself back on routine? So, you know, you start your day off, something happens, you stub your toe, a call comes in that throws you out of routine. You know, to be efficient and to be productive, it's important to stick to that routine that you've established and get back on it. What are some of the ways that you guys check yourself and say, okay, listen, I'm not working at the productivity rate I want to work at today. I need to realign, reassess. And how do you guys do that, you know, in that current state of mind and not so much hindsight?
Sometimes it's good just to, like, take a break. Like, sprint for an hour or two or 30 minutes even. Like, I've even heard of some people doing 30-minute sprints and then, like, literally a 2-minute timer to just walk around and come back 30 minutes and go again or something like that. It was like 2 to 10 minutes breaks. But usually I sprint like an hour at a time or 2 hours at a time. And then I'll get up and, I don't know, like, I'll go water the plants out back or come talk to you and check in with you or, I don't know, just do a different activity.
Something to break it up.
Yeah, something to break it up, and that's nice. Yeah. Balance. Yes.
So I think
Because if
that's
not, I just go crazy. I feel like I'm just sitting in a chair all day. Like,
And then you're not being productive because
Yeah.
you've got the wrong
Yeah.
frame of mind.
Right.
or what I really like is changing out my chair. That's what I've been doing lately. Is
Notice.
taking out the big brown chair I have and getting the doctor's posture one, you know?
Mm-hmm. I call it the butt ball chair.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
I didn't realize this was PG-13.
So on that aspect of how do you more or less refocus, man, for me it's it's actually, I hate to say, I feel like I'm lucky. I don't have a whole lot of distractions. And I would say they're not necessarily a lot of distractions, but I think obviously like I run my life off my calendar, but at the same time, there's enough room in there for flexibility and certain things that I want to get done.
Same.
So like something that's kind of, to put it into perspective of like things that go wrong or come up in the day that have to be addressed. Most of the time, I'm actually very fortunate to have a team where I can say no to those things. Mm-hmm. And most of those things don't intertwine my life. So like today, there was this box. We buy meat from my friend of mine, Rep Provisions, just so everybody knows. Really great, high quality grass-fed meat.
What did we do last time? We were like, shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Just so everybody
We should have
knows.
that be a voice effect.
It's delicious.
For sure.
But anyways, we buy meat from him, and they do a whole thing where like you can send the box back, and you can like they're super waste conscious. And so I went, one of the things that I wanted to do, instead of wasting a shipping label and costing them shipping back to their house, back to their shop, I just decided to drop the box off. And that was something that, it took 10 minutes, but as in that question, that 10 minutes is 10 minutes plus 30 minutes of reframing, refocusing. Right. So in that is like I said, I'm fortunate to not have to take on, like I mentioned to Stone earlier about, possibly the siding being a different thing than what you thought, or in my aspect, the dirt being a different soil that you were expecting. Like, thankfully, I don't run into those issues so much anymore of where there's problems that I can't say no to. It obviously it does happen, but for the most part, I'm able to, thankfully, just go about my day.
Give yourself some cushion to factor in the bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. So I think one of the most difficult things with what I do in my job is that I'm so reliant on other people's schedules, business owners' schedules, which are constantly changing. They're hectic, they're crazy. And so it's really frustrating to me whenever I will set aside an hour for a meeting, and then 10 minutes before that meeting, it gets canceled or changed around, and then I've got an hour of my time where I've got to try and fill and do something productive, and
for the hour.
Yeah, just for 1 hour.
It won't even be a full hour, because by the time I'm 15 minutes in to learn that they're not going to be here,
right?
And then I got to reframe my mind to start working on something for 30 minutes. That's one of the most difficult things, is that I don't really get to control my schedule.
Same way, like we were planning on going to Oklahoma City, me, Devin, and Maddie, right? Mm-hmm. And then we weren't sure. We weren't able to confirm. It wound up being like 9:30 in the morning. And we're like, okay, we're not going to Oklahoma City. Take it off our calendars. And we're like, what are we going to do today? There's plenty to do, but it just wasn't planned, right? And then we started doing that. And then 11:30 hit. And then now we're headed to Oklahoma City.
Client finally responds.
Yeah. And we didn't get back till like 8. So... But being adaptable, sometimes hard, but you still have to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I try to minimize disruptions. Did you have anything? I don't know. I try to minimize disruptions, and that was one of the things I was telling you about from this TikTok video I watched, where this guy, what he does is he puts his phone on work mode and only allows certain people to be able to call or text him and notify him. Otherwise, it just kind of just automatically silenced. And then same way with the apps, like only certain apps get notifications. So then it's like makes him able to be more focused without having these little distractions. Because I don't know about you guys, but my notifications are like hundreds in a day.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Thanks to you. Yeah.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
You guys are getting a small taste.
We were just talking about
how many links are in there.
Click up earlier, dude. There's a lot of notifications.
After email.
Not that I don't appreciate them, Brandon, but it's a bit overwhelming. I don't know.
Are you getting click up notifications?
Yes.
I told you guys to turn the email notifications off.
But then I wouldn't ever feel like,
don't turn them all off, but only turn off the ones that are comments.
I don't know. I like them, but at the same time, it makes you wonder, which
so we have an easier way to go through them. We don't get emails. Instead, we actually get a list of notifications.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, and so sometimes you can skim through them in like 5 minutes, or less, like 2 minutes, right? Wouldn't you agree, Bobby, that there's sometimes they're just like, oh, okay, cool, that's good to know, move on.
Yes, from my experience, what I have discovered is that when you are in a group like that with Braden, it is best to turn those email notifications off. Otherwise, you will not be in that group for long. So
You get
turn that
added,
off
added,
and just
added,
check
added.
the notifications because
Yeah.
you will get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Golly. It's crazy how fast you just. And it's not like, it's usually like within spurts. You got like a 5-minute window and it's like ding.
Because that's what his brain's on.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's what his brain's on for that time.
And then nothing for like 4 days. And then like 27 more emails and then nothing for 3 days.
Is that what it's like?
Yes.
I thought I told you guys to turn off those email notifications like a month
you may
ago.
have, but I never did.
I'm gonna fix it now.
I highly suggest you turn those off.
Golly, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. There's no way.
I
So
feel like honestly, my email has shot up like because I can usually manage them like 20, maybe 40.
You know, there's shortcuts.
Yeah, I know, but
Okay.
listen,
I've seen your inbox. It's
Zero.
almost inbox zero, bro.
It is inbox zero.
Yeah.
Every day.
Have you
before
heard of
I
that
got home.
inbox zero?
I've tried it. I can't
It's a
do
thing.
it.
You keep your inbox to like literally as close to zero as possible in your inbox. Every email either gets archived into a folder
Or delete.
And if it's archived into a folder, it's like, I need to make sure I can reference this.
My texts are the same way. Everything gets
Texts are the
archived.
same way.
As soon as I'm done with your conversation, gone.
that's beautiful.
Like our group chat, every time we're done, gone.
What?
Out of my way.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
I
then
don't-
it comes back up whenever it's important again.
I
You
don't
should
have the
see on my
memory for
phone
that.
how many messages I have.
Oh, dude.
I can go back 5 years ago and
Bro,
tell you what
yeah.
we were talking
No,
about.
so hold on.
Yeah.
I have the messages. They're just archived. They're out of my line of sight all day long. They're
Okay.
not. They're
I
not
gotcha.
interrupting me.
that's
like,
that
ever.
Android life. Like no, that's iPhone. We can't do that. I mean, I think you might be able to, but
678.
Is the number on the top right of my message thing.
Oh, I'm curious.
That's how many you have unread, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Oh God.
bro,
So let's talk about that. Do you not feel that that's?
what if one of
So-
those are your customers?
Does that not
Oh,
bother
there it
you
is.
or stress you out?
21,000 emails.
You guys are stressing me out.
I'm over here with like I've got like 60 since like lunch.
Inbox
Mostly
zero.
it's Braden.
27,000 emails.
Yeah, most of those are Braden.
look, 2 I haven't read,
106 missed calls.
like 2 Facebook messages.
Can't. I'm on live
Or
right now to show you.
So again, I want to pick your brain about this. Does that not create a stressful environment every time you go to open your phone or something? Or you know which ones are important, and how do you know
Yeah, I
they're
mean-
important?
everything that comes, every message and phone call that goes to my phone, I mean, I see it, but
Obviously, we all
So-
know that.
Yeah,
some are just
Yeah.
like,
He leaves me on unread red.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
That's his life. That's his life. Over
and
here.
does not
I would-
respond to your voicemail.
I would say I'm pretty toxic.
You're calling yourself
Terrible.
out like that.
So
my phone, when it comes to my phone, yeah, like I'll read it and I'll just be like, yeah, all right, or I'll get back to that.
Well, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, certain things work for people. Obviously, everybody can work differently. But I guess my question is, with our topic being on efficiency, how do you know which ones are most prompt to respond to, or how do you, like, do you ever take a time to go back through those messages?
Oh yeah, I mean, I scroll through my messages
Okay,
a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
if it goes from 568 to 567 or 569,
Whoa.
he's like, I've got a new message.
yeah,
No, I don't look at the number like that. But I'll go through it. I mean, shit, I've got so many unsaved numbers in my phone. It's insane. I
Okay,
don't
that makes
save
sense
people's
too.
numbers.
Yeah, right, because of customers and such.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That was me too.
Yeah.
But then I started saving their names just as like reference, like, oh, I actually met this person.
Right.
I have to actually a lot of times take their picture and put it in their contact. So then not only when because I could see like 4 Davids.
How did you get my
right?
picture?
I take all your photos. Oh, I don't. Devin does. Yeah. Yeah. He does the photography. Was that a little shout out? Where's my shout out button? I need one that's.
We do need a shout out button.
Yeah.
Put
we
down a note so you don't forget.
are. And big, bold shout out letter, voiceover.
Oh my gosh.
It's too big.
Dang. Okay. So anyway, so some of these next topics, what are we talking about? We were thinking about organizing a to-do list. That's what I call mine, the shit list, or list
Your little
of
notepad.
list of shit, and it's just got basically kind of what's on my mind
Right.
over the next week. Like it's not necessarily it is a to-do list, and there's no due dates on some of them. I just naturally know what my priorities are. Naturally, wrong term, but whatever. Naturally, no.
Well, I just feel like, man, you and Stone has that same mentality of like, you guys know, again, even with the ClickUp thing, like you guys just know what's in your mind. And it's so interesting to me because my older brother's the exact same way. He's actually pretty good at it. Now, there's a lot of times where I'm like, do you need to write this shit down? But
for the most part,
I just
like
don't
if you asked
understand
them,
how
they
your
know.
brains can hold that much important information or decipher through it.
Mine could never.
Yeah,
I can't. I
have
can't
to write
function
mine
that
down.
way. Or you guys are like superhuman to us or
I
something.
mean, I have a book that I write stuff down in, but that's the really important stuff.
Okay.
How do you differentiate between important and really important?
I mean, anything that's going to make me money is going in the book.
Boom.
So it's like a bid book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's not.
You should turn around and tell that to the camera.
What'd I say?
You said anything.
Anything
You go,
that-
how do you differentiate from what's important and what's really important? And you said what's really important means it makes money and it's going in the book.
Correct. Yep.
Said that very well, Stone.
I'm frozen. I can't say it again. I already said it.
All right,
I said it for you. That'll be my
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I can't take
get
that.
him going viral.
Yeah, I don't have just like a shit list like Braden has.
Yeah,
His is rolling too.
that was
Like,
a
it's-
great
Oh, yeah.
explanation.
It's
Now
never
we can-
finished.
God dang.
I
Brandon.
actually call it a rolling list of shit.
He literally does.
It is. Rolling list of shit. That's what it says. Dang. I was trying to mute him. I'm used to that one's 2. That one's 3.
You'll get used to it.
Okay.
No biggie.
Where did we leave off?
He was in the middle of asking you a question and you walked away.
Of
Yeah.
what can you explain to us what your shit list is?
How do you tell order of importance on your shit list?
There's no order to that.
Okay.
It's basically what's on my mind by client or category. So if I'm working on if I need to make sure that I do a couple things for let's say for you, I need to make sure this goes out for Chance in the next week because he told me about it.
Yeah.
Make sure Maddie actually falls through. Make sure there's a task for it.
Right.
Look at this in a week again. It could be something like that, or it could be, hey, we sent this off to print. I need to go pick this up this week. It could be like publishing ARC Outdoorsman website. That project I was a part of. So I had to make sure that everything was SEO optimized, it was mobile responsive, and make sure my developer helped me set up all the webmaster tools and Google
Right.
Analytics and Google Search Console and all that stuff. And so I was like, launch website.
Yeah.
And then I know that that's something that's on my plate for this week, right?
So do you ever clear your page and start over like a new week or
Every week, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I like just crossing it out. I like seeing just on one sheet what did I generally accomplish that week, and that kind of helps me feel like that I was definitely efficient for that week, and my time and everything was worthwhile. Yeah.
I used to
Very
do that
nice.
with whiteout. So I'd literally fill up my paper with all my shit list items, more or less. And then I go through and white out, and everybody's like, why? You're wasting so much white out. I'm like, it feels good to make it disappear. And like writing it down was too sloppy for me.
Huh.
I've realized I'm like a very clean, I don't like disorder. I don't know why. It's just, that's who I am, I guess. And then I have
Now,
this
anytime I
crazy-ass
see
hair.
somebody like Maddie like put color code everything and like turn it into certain fonts and take notes, like have you ever seen somebody do that and organize like that on calendar? Oh man, that I get jealous of. Like I wish
Yeah.
it's just so visually
so
appealing. I
organized.
was like, I love it.
We just lost left side.
Yeah.
We can't hear the
we don't
left
have
side.
left ear.
You guys hear left?
Left audio is out. Yeah, I feel like I've
Yeah.
got left.
I got
Oh.
left.
I've got
I got
left.
left.
Nope.
Is ours on a splitter or something?
Then yours
No.
is probably the one that's causing the fuzz. Push those buttons in. Or those
Yeah,
wires
are you-
back there.
Are you guys not plugged in?
Terrible. Look at
Oh well,
us go.
that's all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Hopefully it's not messed up for the audience.
Yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and comment? Let us know how the sound is right now.
You gonna pull it up on here so we can read the comments? They're gonna be like, "Hey, your sound's
Oh,
messed
it's
up."
still alive.
Do you guys ever ask
Still.
anybody, your community, your people around you, a feedback on how efficient you are?
No, I don't
I
think I
do.
ever have.
Kinda
Honestly.
I'll get like every now and then I'll have someone tell me, or give me a shout out on Facebook or tell me specifically like, hey, thank you so much. Like I can usually tell or
just
interview
said that
whenever we
sounds
complete
good.
a job.
Okay, cool. Chance?
I've had people like text me and call me and be like, "Hey, this thing shipped out quick." And I was like, "Yeah." Then I package them every morning, so it's placed super quick. So yeah, I guess I have had people compliment how efficient Threaded runs. I guess.
Oh, I've got a good question. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Designing a relaxing work environment or an environment that you feel comfortable in. Okay, so mine is it can't be 80 degrees. It can't be higher than like 76. I'm uncomfortable. But weird things like that help people be more efficient. If you're sitting there,
It's okay, buddy. You
I
don't have
wish.
air conditioning outside.
I wish.
When-
You too, Abel. Oh wait, yeah, me too.
okay, so like I can work outside. Like if I'm outside at a coffee shop,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
But like to kind of like put myself back into the zone, kind of like what you were talking about earlier with, I think you guys were talking about it was you were talking about with Stone, how you get back into the groove of things. Like how do you put yourself back into the zone?
Right.
Okay, so like little things like that. Even some people, I bet there's some people that can relate, and a lot of people I bet that are watching or commenting or anything like that, they're going to be outdoors people as well. So
Yeah.
they're going to be like, spoiled Brett.
And his air
It's not
conditioning. I
necessarily-
don't like it being 76 degrees in my air conditioning house.
It's
Or
not,
whatever.
that's not terrible. It's just, as you know, again, in our industries, you could wish for Wednesday
Right.
the whole year, but frankly, if it just doesn't, we have no control over that. So as much as you would love to be in that same, and again, there's other things like, frankly, I can't imagine being stuck inside of an office all day long. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
right.
rather take going outside every day in different, weather conditions and different weather stuff. Just because I've been in an office before for 9 years, and I literally specifically remember staring out the window and just be like, man, I'm gonna go take out the trash just so I can walk outside. Like that's how much I wanted to be outside. And now, thankfully, I have the flexibility to go outside pretty much when I want.
Right.
And then starting off the day every day with shop doors open, breeze coming in, being able to be outside, that's just awesome. Like I don't miss having to walk straight into an office.
I
And
feel like
that's it.
everybody needs at least like 3 hours of being outside a day.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I
mean, that's
live
huge.
for the outdoors.
That's huge.
You know, and maybe not temperature, those physical attributes, though, that may be something that doesn't necessarily flow from industry to industry, different company to company.
Right.
One thing that I think that does flow and is very important, and, I can personally attest that, Braden's done a great job with Sooner Marketing, is creating an environment that is comfortable to work in. Not the temperature, not talking about, the lighting or things like that. Talking about the comfortability to come in, share your opinion, feel like you're a part of the team, and have a team that surrounds you that is
Right.
supportive and communicative. That is so rare to find, working relationships and environments where you can be productive like that and have that kind of support. And so I think that is something that is very important from industry to industry, is having that type of environment that you create.
What do you think is the biggest attribute to creating that environment?
Listening.
Oh man, I bet a lot of you guys could relate to where you wanted somebody to listen, like professionally. You were working,
Yeah.
and you're trying to tell your boss something. Hey, it's not working here. I need help, and there's like, eh. Or hey, I really have this idea. I think by moving this machine over here, it could be more helpful. Or just asking a question about how something
Corporate
works.
wants it there.
Yeah, corporate ones. Don't touch that cup. Anyways, but just having somebody that's open to listening and like open to what you have to input and offer
Right.
and bring to the table. Right?
Actually feel like you're being heard as opposed to just talking to someone.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, I'm having a bad day. Can we talk? But
Yeah.
even then, that's still a good work environment to have too.
What? Expound upon that? What is?
Just being able to talk to somebody.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And management just being there, like it's a good leadership. It's a leadership role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're there for your people more than just, hey, how can I help you get, X done today?
Well, it's the support of it. It's the fact that I'm in sales, yet if Braden sees that I need new sales material, like I am trying to push video projects and I just don't have the tools I need, instead of just being like, oh, you're struggling, you definitely need to push more, you're right.
Yeah.
He goes in and he's
Keep
like,
going. Come on, you got to
he's like,
figure it out.
let me create this graphic that you're going to be able to pass out and engage in conversation and
Right.
leave them with something. He enables and gives you the tools to do it. And I think that in any leadership environment, like that's something that's important, is that you're giving your people the tools to be successful and meet your expectations.
That's kind of their job as a leader and management role, is making sure that their people are efficient, happy. They do more than, maybe just their job, I guess, right? That'd be nice. But, yeah.
Stone, how do you feel you create that type of environment?
It's just me and the boys out there, everyone's comfortable. Everyone's working together. We're not on no sad boy shit or anything, it's all cool, calm, and collected, I mean, we tell our campfire stories, but
Yeah, that tends to happen when you're outdoors.
Yeah.
You're literally like, yeah. But
it's a good time always.
so, well, I asked because you earlier you were talking about buying the ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds so simple, but buying the ice is some of that little tiny portion. You've talked about also how you sometimes will throw the guys a job, like a side job or whatever, and they can just have it themselves, like that type of thing. I think that also goes down to, on a different aspect of creating the environment. Bobby says listening, and your aspect is like, well, how do you get back to the guys in a sense of like these, creating that environment where they're taken care of, where it's not always about you making that last, extra dollar. It's actually about, in a sense, like you said, we're it's the boys, man. We're taking care of each other at the same time. I don't have to be above everybody. Let's just do this together type deal.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, is like, which, I guess not necessarily curious, but I think it's interesting and necessarily like it plays such a huge role, especially in our industries, being outdoors, of just taking care of each other in like a very physical manner, not necessarily just in a sense listening. Like maybe you're not necessarily listening in a sense because you're just outside, you're bullshitting, you're trying to get the work done. It's hot. Let's get back in the truck. Let's get out. But at the same time, like you're worried about their health. You're worried about them in general. Like the last thing you want is a guy passing out on the job, which we've had, right? Where you're like, that guy's throwing up over there and you're like, man, I know he's probably should like get some better help, but we're gonna have to hang out in the truck until we're done. and then we'll go, we'll go home. And then the next day they show up all smiles, kind of drained. Right. They're kind of drained, but they're all smiles and like, hey,
still ready to go.
We're back at it. And it's like, man, that's huge to have somebody that goes through that with us and then still shows up the next day. And it's because you create that environment of, hey, we're going to take care of you. But at the same time, like they make those sacrifices of just sitting in the truck just for no reason. It's like, well, nobody's going to blame you for saying, man, I got to get home. I got to get something better in me. Like water's not going to cut it right now, and it takes a lot to have people that you trust to be like, at the same time, know that, man, I can't slow them down because it's just us out here. We got to get this stuff done. But at the same time of, man, like, I'm going to get taken care of because I know at the end of here, like, they're going to make sure I'm good before I head home or whatever it is that is. You're taking care of each other in a very, very physical aspect.
It's like a family. I mean,
it really is.
At least that's how I feel with my team. And it sounds like, every interaction I've had with your team, that's how it feels from here, the way that you guys talk about each other.
I don't have a response to that. I mean, I agree with all of it. I think you're on the right path. Do you ever create incentives or celebrate certain achievement points, like whether it's a team sales goal or upgraded equipment or got the new building? Like, is there anything like, hey, we get together when we achieve this as a team, or individual incentives? Because I know you're starting the profit first, or the profit sharing thing soon.
Right. Well, we started it.
You've already started it.
Yeah, it'll be second round, September 31st, whenever that third quarter ends. I think it's September
I don't think
31st.
it applies to part-time people, though.
No, it doesn't.
I didn't get a letter or anything.
No, it doesn't. You have to be over there 90 days consecutively. But anyways.
But generally speaking.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's not really an incentive, man. I guess it is, but it's more like I just want them to feel like the company's theirs and take care of the company a little bit more. And I wouldn't say we celebrate milestones, but like sometime in September, we're going on a float trip, like the entire company. Show up at 7 o'clock like we would, like going to work, but we're going on a float trip. And it's just going to be awesome. Like we're going to have a race in a sense and try to figure out who can get to the end fastest. And the reality is we don't know what the teams are going to be or anything like that. But I wouldn't say that's an incentive. Like they don't know where we're going. They just know there's a mandatory company event. And I mean, they might know if they listen to this, but
now they know.
Yeah, now they know. But it's like a mandatory company event, like we're just getting together that day. That's not an incentive.
What day is that?
You don't know.
When are we going?
Now listen here, I want to rewind a little bit because the main goal on the river is to see who can be on the river the longest
Right, not
with
for
the
us.
shortest trip.
Right. But that doesn't really...
Is that going to change when I hit 30? Is that an age thing?
No,
or
no. I think... So we actually thought about this a lot, too. So the way we do our company events, my younger brother's in charge of just mentioning when it's time to do it. And then he usually picks roughly what... Or at least this is the first time he's planning, in a sense. But he kind of picks like what he wants to do. And then we go from there. So what we're doing is... He wanted to go to the river. We kind of picked a date that worked for everybody. And then we looked at what the cost would be to actually go, which our personal profit account will pay for. And then they have a food budget that the profit share account will pay for. And then that pretty much covers the entire day. Now, the reason we're doing it in a sense of like who can get done the fastest is because, frankly, we're going in a bunch of work trucks. We can't all come back plastered. And not only that, the last thing we want is for somebody to get hurt or something like that on the way back. So what we're doing, there's
I always camp when I'm there, so I've never left.
Right, and well, we can't do that, And in a sense, so we're gonna go. The plan is to see who can get down the river the fastest.
Wait, the last time we went, we didn't camp.
And I also was not a part of coming back. I slept in the back of the bed, the truck bed, the whole way home.
See, this is why we're doing it the way we're doing it. That's a common story of going float the river.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so whoever wins, that's the first crew back, they're the only ones who get alcohol, and that's plain and simple. Like, other than that, we're gonna just.
So
hang
you're
out, have a good
racing
time.
to see who can be drunk.
No, dude, they're not gonna be
back.
enough to.
I know,
get drunk,
but like that's kind of like the victory you can drink,
right? In a sense,
if you're a winner,
right? Because at the end of the hot day, all you want is a nice cold beer.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hot. You're going to be on the river.
John's like, oh, man.
It's true. It's so true. But at the end of the day, like, hey, well, you only get the nice ice cold beer if you won. Plain and simple. If that crew wants to share it, cool.
Winners and losers.
We're breeding winners.
Right. We're going old school, man. Everybody's going to have captains. You pick your team. Life ain't fair.
Life ain't
But
fair.
it's a team building event. It's not supposed to be something that's easy. You're just chilling down the river. There's a purpose behind it, and it's like who works best as a team, plain and simple. And there's a lot of people that never float the river. So
I don't know how the whole team
Kayaking
building
in the
actually.
river's more fun.
Huh?
I feel like I would
Kayaking.
drown.
Oh,
Y'all should-
100%. I've done it.
Y'all should all kayak it.
But there's people that
That'd be
don't know how to swim and don't know how to do any of that. So it's like, dude.
Yeah, and kayaking is individual. This will be team.
Right.
Next to a raft.
What about each of you? Incentives?
Well, man, we don't have like any profit sharing incentives or quarterly bonuses and stuff yet. There's just
Yet.
yet.
Did you hear that, Bobby?
That's a good word.
But
We've
I
already
saw
talked
a bunch
about
of,
it happening though.
I saw a bunch of VR stuff over in.
for years.
Yeah, we
there.
got 2 of those for free.
Well, no. But
It's a
what
team
exactly?
building exercise.
Team building. I hear a game night's going
Game
on
night?
tonight.
Oh yeah, we got a game night, team game night.
How do you forget that?
I know, I love it.
Well, it's just natural. I don't know. It just happens. Like we just do stuff. Like the last, didn't I make? I made brisket here one night. Remember that? It's about like every 2 or maybe every 3 months, probably once a quarter. Would you say it's fair that we like
do something at
do
the
something on a
office.
Friday or coming
Bring
on a Saturday,
spouses.
bring spouses and hang out? Or our next thing that I think that we want to do is go hang out on a Friday morning at a coffee shop. And
I know a
work
great.
together like that.
I know a great coffee shop, by the way.
What you got?
Lagome, just in front of Lifetime.
I was half
They're,
expecting you to say
Fairly
Starbucks
new.
No,
or Dutch Bros.
no,
I would have said double shot.
That's his go-to. See,
That's the place.
that's downtown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a few times with the meetings.
Coffee house on
got the
Cherry Street.
views.
It's my favorite.
Or Chalks. Yeah, dude. I've been going to Chalks for 15
I don't know if that
years.
is.
Like they've been in business for a while.
Stone, what kind of incentives or stuff do you do for your team?
Ice. We were talking about it earlier.
I
Yeah.
told them
You
Well, what
get
do
an
you need?
ice
I'm
cold
trying to-
drink.
it's
Trying to give you a
it's
cold
only
water.
My brother and
Yeah.
Brad right now, and I tell them go get your own jobs. You got full profit on it.
That's awesome. Honestly, that's awesome.
I'll work with them. They can use my equipment, but yeah, they sell their own jobs. They get profit too.
I think that's awesome. On my end, I get excited about that because being able to scale the business with people you trust is so hard. And as a
It's
sales,
so rare.
in the sales position, you're literally building that ownership mentality in there right now.
Yeah.
To where eventually they're going to sell a job and they're going to say, Stone, like, dude, I could do this job. Like, we're going to need better people. Like, I can sell this. I know I can.
Yeah.
But do I have your support and to make it happen? And you're going to be like, dude, I didn't have to manage this. I don't have to, like, hell yes. Like, you said 138 the other day, 138 downspouts.
Yeah.
Like, something big like that where you're going to be able to, they're going to feel confident because of your leadership skills, pushing
Right.
them into do this, to be able to land jobs like that. That'll just, dude, that's awesome.
Eventually, the leads will be just so much that I know that they'll be able to handle it.
That's awesome.
Your show notes this time around are going to be a complete 180.
Yeah,
Yep.
they better be, because I knew what I was doing this time around.
Know what you're looking for and listening for. Yeah.
I got to be on the job site at 3.
Yeah, it is 2:23.
Yep.
You're 23 minutes past your deadline.
That's okay.
But we have some good talks today. So we'll go around the table starting. I'll start off with some recap points, just some quick thoughts. So concentrate on your task, like hyper-focus, do some sprints, go and take some breaks, create a good work environment, try to commit to deadlines. If you got a shit list, make one of those.
Yeah.
And then, of course, try to have it organized with, like, due dates and priority levels and things like that. It's all important to know. So what do you got, Chance?
Calendar and scheduling. Yeah. Stick to a routine. Understand what you need to get done, what time frame you need to get done, and whether it be daily, weekly, or monthly. And just do your best to manage yourself. At least that's for me, because I don't really stick to anyone's schedule but my own. No employees, nothing like that. So
No
Stone, what do you
kids.
got?
Prioritizing what's actually important, what's not actually important. I feel like a lot of times you can get caught up in stuff that's not really important that you
The
thought
clutter.
was important. So I guess just scaling, weighing everything out, making sure it's prioritized in the right order.
nice.
Bobby?
I guess thought honestly a challenge I would leave everybody here with is to find something, at least one thing in your business that you are repetitively doing continually, and see if it can be automated. See how much time you can cut out from those repetitive tasks, whether it's sending a follow-up email to everybody that places an order, or after your men go out to a visit, are you sending an email an hour later automatically as soon as that calendar event's done that says thank you so much, have you rescheduled, or do we want to reschedule? Given those opportunities, things like that are, one, going to improve your customer experience, and then two, improve your productivity because you're not having to dedicate time to that. So that's actually my thought. That's my challenge to leave you guys with
Nice. Very nice.
as well.
Abel, wrap it up. What you got?
I feel like a spoiled brat saying this, but just say no. Like drugs. Just say no to things that aren't important. Priorities. Say no to certain things on your shit list. Just say no more to make sure that you can stay on top of what's important at that time.
That's a
And
good one.
that creates efficiency.
I love it. We've got 30 seconds here. I found this story. I got it via email. I thought it'd be worth sharing to you guys. You ready?
Yep.
So this is the real story behind waking up to money. When I wake up to a new payment notice, I'm ecstatic, but not for the typical online marketing reasons. The ones I'm talking about, the look at how much money I made while I sleep type of people. No. When I get a payment notice, it tells me someone trusts themselves to walk through their journey. It says they're unwilling to give up, even when the journey is so far that it has been one of the toughest ever. Being a little dramatic here, right?
Right.
I'm honored when that payment comes in because they believe that I can help them. It's not easy to choose someone to help, guide, and support us these days. There are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. Finally, now here's the selfish part. I'm even more grateful that I can use my superpowers, doing what comes naturally, and everything I love with another dream client that I love. Yeah, I said love. If we don't love our clients, why are we working with them? I believe it was my friend Giovanni Marsico, who said, Abel, you can probably correct me on that one. Life is too short not to work with the people we love. Notice, this has nothing to do with being paid while I sleep. Because if money is your driver, I believe you're doing it all wrong. What drives me is the contribution that I can give to someone's life to make it the best that it can be. What about you? It's from the Strategic Business Academy. I just thought it was a cool email.
No, I like it. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's been a fun Brews and Business podcast. Appreciate having you guys. Abel, Chance, Stone, and Bobby.
Thanks for having me.
I'm your host, Braden Cruz, streaming live at the Blue Studio on Facebook.
And Blanche.